Hi, I'm Michael Foley, former member of the Canadian national kickboxing team, Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, and Kempo karate black belt. And today, I'm going to show you how to wrap your hands. First thing I want you guys to do is you're going to undo the wrap and just let it fall to the ground. Pull it straight through your hand just to make sure there's no kinks or bends or folds in it. And you want to come all the way to the end where this loop is like this. Okay? Now you got two sides. One side shows the seam, the other side doesn't. It's very important, and I'll explain why at the end, that this side, the side that shows the seam, is down. You don't want to have this side facing up when you start. To start, I'm going to take the loop and I'm going to hook it through my thumb right here. My thumb, I'm going to keep this up at the start, and I'm going to give this just a little tug right here so it pulls. And at the end, when I pull my thumb forward, it's actually going to make this tighter around my wrist when I make a fist. So from here, pull this just so it's snug, and you're going to wrap it around your wrist nice and tight to your hand, just one time. Now from here, what I like to do is I go underneath, and I'm tight to my wrist, and then I'm going to go across slightly below my wrist bone right here. Then I'm going to come over slightly below my wrist bone on this side, and then slightly above it on this side. So it forms a little X right here on the back, and I'm going to do that X pattern twice. Now from here, I wrap around my thumb, keep it nice and tight. I'm going to pinch that with my index finger here. Make sure it's flat. Go around the back of your thumb. And I should have what looks like this right now. Okay? That's the first part. The second part, I'm going to start to work on my knuckles. So I go underneath my hand, and I'm going to use the curve between my thumb and my wrist to use that as an anchor point. And I'm going to come right up here next to my pinky knuckle, and I want to have the I want to have the wrap just crisscrossed over the top of my knuckle. I don't want to have it below, and I don't want to have it all above. My knuckle should be right in the middle of the wrap right there. Now I'm going to loop underneath, and I'm going to go across the back of all four of my knuckles here. Nice and snug, but not too tight, because I don't want to cut off circulation. So I'm going to do that wrap 3 times. Now from here, bring it all the way back to your index finger, and I'm going to make a fist for a split second and bring this down to my wrist one more time. I loop underneath, and now we're going to start to tie in between our fingers here. We're going to go up to our pinky and our ring finger. Open your fingers, and then put the hand wrap just right here between your 2 fingers. You don't want to hug one finger more than the other. You want to put the middle of the wrap between your 2 fingers like this, and then pinch your 2 fingers together. That's going to hold the wrap in place while you do this next part, which is hook it towards your index finger knuckle. Then you're going to go back around the back of your hand, crisscross across the back of your wrist, make another loop around your wrist, then go through your next 2 fingers. And same thing, middle of the wrap between the middle of your ring finger and your middle finger. And then pinch it together. Bring it back over here by your index finger knuckle. Go around your knuckles once this time. Then you're going to go back across the back of your hand. Then you're going to come underneath by your thumb one more time, and then open up your next 2 fingers and go down between those 2. Pinch them together. Hook this slightly to your index finger knuckle. You're going to go around your knuckles one more time. I'm going to get that nice and flat. And then once I get it to here, depending on how much wrap I have left, how much padding I want on my knuckle and how much I want on my wrist, that's going to determine what I do with the rest of my wrap here. If I want more padding on my knuckles, I might give this a couple more wraps. If I want more padding on my wrist, I'm going to go down my wrist first. But we'll do a combination of both. So from here, I'm going to make a fist. And this is the layer of the wrap that you want to be nice and tight. So once you make that fist and you bring the wrap across the back of your hand here, instead of hooking so far down around your wrist right here, I want to come more across the back of my hand. And I'm going to pull that around the front here. And I'm going to wrap my wrist. And I want this layer to be super tight on my wrist. So I'm going to go a little further down, pulling this slightly tighter than I have been doing. A little bit below my wrist. Then I'm going to come back up above it, and I want the Velcro on my hand wrap to go over my wrist joint right here. Open up your palm. You should notice that this is completely open. I'm gonna tuck this part in right here, and I'm gonna tuck this part in underneath. That's gonna give me a nice, tight hand wrap. This feels super solid right now. I really like how this feels. And it'll fit inside of a boxing glove and an MMA glove. And just a note, if for whatever reason, I see this all the time too, you get to the end of your hand wrap and your Velcro is upside down, there's no need to take it off and do the whole thing completely over. Just back it off and roll it, just flip it over. And that's gonna give you the same level of security, and you don't have to go through the trouble of rewrapping your hand. Thanks for watching. If you got anything out of this, please like and subscribe. If you have any martial arts related questions whatsoever, put them in the comments below and I'll do my best to answer them for you. I'm Michael Foley. See you on the mats.